first step in any wet set is to wash the hair. I actually just touched up my pink and toned out my blonde, and then I washed it. So now I'm going to kind of comb through it just a little bit, and then I'm going to put a mask on, which is the next step, at least for me, because I like to keep my hair nice and healthy. I am using this Redken All Soft Mega Mask. It's supposed to stay on for 5 to 10 minutes. I'll probably leave it on a little bit longer than that. But it comes in this fancy little humdinger like this. They can't get my brains. Says to put the cap on and massage it into your hair, so that's what I'm doing. And I think ideally the whole point is that it's going to take the heat from your head and kind of help it get right in on that stuff. So I'm just gonna take a couple clippies and stick them in there. Let it sit for like 20 minutes. I'll be back. We have washed and deep conditioned. We want to put our leave-ins in. I am using Olaplex number 7 and Olaplex number 6 first before I put anything else in there because, well, my hair is very, very fragile from the lightening processes. This stuff never wants to come out. You don't need a whole lot, but work it into your hands like this, and you pull it in your hair like this, and then you pick it through. Next up is my Pureology 21 spray Color Fanatic that I also put in here. It has 21 benefits, some of which include making it a leave-in conditioner, heat protectant, and then we pick that through. Woo, pick it through. Next up is some Prep Rally by Drybar. This is technically a blow dry spray. Pick it through. See it blow dry it a little bit. I'm not gonna blow dry on camera because it's loud. And then after you blow dry it a little bit, you want your hair to be damp but not wet. Alright, so what you're going to need is a waving lotion of some kind. This is Hair Sculpting Lotion by Paul Mitchell. I put it in a spray bottle with a little bit of water. I also have a spray bottle of water because you want to keep your hair damp but not wet. You also are going to need sponge rollers for the back of my head specifically, so that when I go to sleep tonight, they're gonna not be hurting my head. And then for the top of my head, I like my vintage rollers that have a hairnet stuck to them. Ta-da! I've got a whole crap ton of those wrapping papers. This is gonna help smooth out your ends to prevent the hooks on the end of your hair. Okay, so we're gonna start by sectioning out the hair. We're gonna have 2 small sections in the front and 3 sections in the back. So with the 3 sections in the back, that way you can bricklay a little bit better. That's a terminology that is used in hairdressing. Okay, so apparently my camera died, so Just FYI, that's why there's extra wrapping that happened. Hopefully it's charged now. So I usually start in the front of my hair to get the beginning of the wrapping done, and then I work from the top down. And when you work from the top down, it gives you the ability to grab any hairs that you might have missed on the way down. So here I am, and I start at the crown and I work my way down, just wrapping away. Take each section and then you kind of kitty corner them, as you can see kind of there. The one on the right is a little bit higher than the one in the middle, and you keep going down and keep wrapping away. So the wrap has happened. You can see they're nice and tight. It's mostly just to get some dimension within the curls. I like to use variety. Our next step in this whole process, wrap it in a scarf. And this is super great because you can literally just take it like this. And you want a relatively decent sized scarf because something too small is going to be too tight on your head. Large will be hard to wrap up. But you take and you tie it. You want it snug, but not like too tight, right? You take your extra little bit that you had and you can now make a cute little bow. Tuck and roll everything together like so. Now this is great if you want to go out and run some errands, but for me personally, this is how I'm going to go to bed. And then when I wake up in the morning, I will leave this on. I can go for a run, I can work out, do all the things I need to do. Okay, so we've done the whole thing. I didn't bother like sitting down under my dryer because they're all pretty dry. The trick is when you unwrap them, you want to go the opposite way of the way you wrap. You want to start at the bottom and go up. And you also want to unwrap versus pulling them out. And then you take your paper and you toss it away. Okay, and then once they are removed, you'll look a little bit like a deranged elderly Shirley Temple. Hairspray. I like spray and play because it does have a great hold, so I'll use it to spray everything at the end. But I also like it because it's going to help kind of set those curls in. But you want to spray it first and let it set for a few minutes. Because you don't want your hair wet when you brush through the curls because it's going to... Now we wait a few minutes. Now we brush it out. Before I brush, I like to kind of loosen the curls just a little bit. For this part, you need to remember, you're going to brush it and you're going to start to look like a crazy person. Like, more so than you already do. You're going to loosen up all of those curls and you're going to be able to mold them quite better. See how it's starting to form in some type of way. Just keep brushing. Next step is gonna be some pomade. Might feel like you have too much pomade or paste or whatever you decide to use, but trust me, your ends are super floofy. You need the de-floofing. Pull it through, pull it through, pull it through, pull it through. And it's really starting to take a shape of some kind. If you start to look like Kitty from that 70s show, that's okay. We will work that out in a second. Now we want our other wet brush that's a little more flexible. And this is going to help us start to mold and shape where we want the hairs to lie. Now what I like to do is one of these clippies so that it stays where I put it before I do the final spray down. Same thing over here. Brush and mold, brush and mold. Same thing. Clippy. Here. Clippy. Here. I'm going to brush out the back a bit more because I like to have that very distinctive U shape, which I have my hair cut that way. Extra brushing back there. I'm going to take a peek and see what it looks like. Oh, it looks fabulous. Give you a look too. And now we start hairspray it again.
Thank you so much for coming and watching. Sorry about my awkward modeling techniques, but you know, it is what it is. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and you can find me on all social media.